Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review, walkthrough, and flip through of the Primary Mathematics Standard Edition Level 4 curriculum, as well as the video subscription Wisdom Wonder project that we've been using in conjunction with that math curriculum. If you're new to my channel, my name's Nicole. I'm a homeschooling mom with 2 kids at home. I have a daughter who's 10 and in 5th grade, and I have a son who's 4. So I am going to give you a little background on this curriculum, and then I'm actually going to do a flip through of the textbook, the home instructor guide, not to be confused with the teacher guide, and the workbook. Then I'm also going to go through on my iPad and show you the Wisdom Wonder video subscription that we have to show you how we use it and the different features and functions that it has within that subscription. Okay, so first let's talk about primary mathematics. This is a Singapore curriculum. There within the primary mathematics, you have the US edition, standard edition, and Common Core edition. Wisdom Wonder project uses the standard edition, therefore I am using the standard edition curriculum because it's just seamless, and I'm using exactly the pages in the workbook, textbook, and home instructor guide that they're telling us to, and it's much easier. I have heard that you can use US and Common Core for Wisdom Wonder, but it might take a little bit of tweaking. Now, there are lots of debates on which one is better. Some people are diehard US edition, some are diehard standard. From what I understand, standards edition was created to meet the requirements for math in California. They have a couple more requirements than were included in the original US edition, which was the original Singapore math. Now, there are 2 separate curriculums that have been created. Primary Math 2022, that is not the same as this, and Dimensions. Those are separate. Guys, let's go over the cost of this curriculum. I did write it down to help me keep all the details, and I will put it up somewhere on the screen. Okay, so let's start with the textbook. This textbook is $25 new. Now let me tell you, I have never bought it new, and I've never paid more than $8 or $9 for this used. As you can tell, this is a used edition, and it works just fine. So I will keep this and use this for my son. But if you were to buy it new, this is $25. Now, the home instructor guide new is $23. Now, there's a home instructor guide and a teacher guide. Do not get the teacher guide. That's for a classroom. You want to make sure you're getting the home instructor guides. Also, I've also never paid more than $10 for this. This is also a used copy, as you can see. And again, it also works just fine. And we've already used this, and I'll save this for my son. But if you were to buy this new, this would be $23. The workbook new is $19.50. I have bought this new for 4A and 4B, and both times they were written in almost every single page. It's not easy to erase. You can still see the answers. So I would actually recommend buying the workbook new. Otherwise, it's going to look like this, and it's going to be really hard to get rid of. So this new is $19.50. However, I got both of these for less than $20 at the very most, but less than that, and $19.50 for this. It was about $40 per semester for this, which I felt like was a pretty reasonable price. They also have tests for each semester, 4A and 4B, and those new are $26.50. I never got those because honestly, there's so much practice in here. There's so much review that comes up after every single section that I didn't feel like it was necessary to test, but that is $26.50 new, or I'm sure you could find that used. Also, for each level, for level 4, level 5, there's an extra practice workbook. I did buy that used for a couple dollars, and I could not find that anywhere, but that's for the entire year, so you don't buy that per semester. So for example, for a semester, level A or B, if you were to buy all new without tests, it would be $67.50. With tests new, it would be $93.50. Now, if you were to buy the whole year without tests, it'd be $135. If you were to buy the whole year without tests, but to do the extra practice, you're looking at $156.50. If you want the whole year with tests, you're looking at $187. And for the whole year with tests for both semesters and the extra practice, you're looking at $208.50. But honestly, you can find everything you want used. I would highly recommend it. The extra practice I only found necessary a few times because you have problems in the textbook and in the workbook. So I felt like that was more than enough. And then at the end of each section, you have a pretty extensive review going over everything that you've done in the entire level. So I didn't feel like it was necessary, but if you need it in the home instructor guides, they'll indicate to you which pages to use for that. Last bit of cost for Wisdom Wonder Project. When I started, it was $20 a month and $300 a year. I'm assuming because its popularity has grown and it has kindergarten through 6th grade levels included, that it's raised its price because now it's $30 a month or $300 annually. Now, here's the thing. $30 a month includes every level. So kindergarten through 6th grade, as many times as you want. There's no time limit. So if you have multiple students using this math, $30 really is a good deal. But for a video subscription, I feel like it is worth it because it comes with a lot more than just a subscription. It breaks down everything into a 36-week. It has a lot of different templates. I'll show all of this, but it really does come with more than just the video subscription. All right, so I'm going to flip the camera over and go through all of this with you. All right, guys, let's start the flip through portion of this video. All right, let's start with the Home Instructor's Guide. You'll see it listed at the bottom. Make sure you get this. This is meant for a homeschool setting. There is a teacher guide meant for classroom setting, and you don't want to get that one. All right, so as you can see, this is a little beat up. This was a $9 used copy, and we've already used this version, so it does have some wear and tear on our part, but it's perfectly acceptable to use it for my son. So don't be afraid to buy used curriculum because really it can save you so much money. All right, guys, I'm going to show you an example of a lesson. Okay, so here's Unit 7, the 4 operations on decimals. It's going to give you objectives, notes, and then this is lesson 1, this is lesson 2, 3, 4, lesson 5. It'll break it down for you. So this discussion is your lesson that you'll be teaching them. And you'll see you're using the textbook page 40, tasks 15 to 16, and then there's more practice to do in the textbook. Then you'll go on to the workbook pages, and it'll tell you within the Home Instructor Guide, go to page 45 for answers. It gives you a game. This one gives you enrichment, mental math 10. Let me show you where that is. In the back is all the mental math. So you'll go to mental math 10, which is right here. And then it goes on to the next lesson. Now, these lessons aren't always set up the same way. Some of them have extra practice listed or tests. Let me see if I can find those for you. Okay. On this lesson, you can see you have extra practice, Unit 6, Exercise 1, and it tells you the pages, and it also has tests listed. Again, I rarely used extra practice, and I did not buy tests. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to show you how Wisdom Wonder Project uses this in just a moment. I just wanted to kind of give you a flip through. Now, here's the textbook. This was $7. And we have used it a little bit. However, it's just fine. And this is a colored version. I really like it. So what it does is it has instructions and then it'll have tasks for you to do. And Wisdom Wonder Project will actually break these up for you in a 36-week schedule that I will show you in just a moment. And then you have the workbook. This is black and white. And as you can see, my daughter's written in it. Now imagine getting this and trying to erase it all if you bought it used. That happened to me twice. So I always buy this new. I just find it's worth it. So when you sign up for Wisdom Wonder Project, they're going to give you a schedule. And I just made this cover myself. Okay, so let's go on an example page. Okay, so on this lesson, you're going to go to this video on the website, this Home Instructor Guide pages, these textbook pages, and these workbook pages. And then here you'll see base 10 blocks that's blue and underlined. That is a manipulative needed for this lesson. Anytime there's a manipulative, they'll let you know. Here they have place value discs, whole and decimal is needed. This is pictorial decimals. When I show you the website, you'll see that you can click on these documents, PDF documents, and it'll take you right to either the Amazon page or to their templates that they provide for you. So that's really helpful. So you'll see video, video, no video, because this is a practice. And then I've marked when we finish these lessons. So let me show you the templates that Wisdom Wonder Project provides. So for the whole level, you'll have a PDF, and I'll show you where to get that has many different templates. And they'll let you know in the lesson which one you need to use. And when you first open this, you'll find a table of contents that will tell you how to find each one of those templates. Then they have several different game ideas, more game ideas, some warm-up ideas. They really do recommend warming up. And then it goes on to all of your templates. I'll show you where to find that on Wisdom Wonder Project in just a moment. Something that I highly recommend doing with these templates is getting a plastic cover like this and using it with a dry erase marker for your child to use. That way you can use it over and over again and you don't have to print it. Okay, one last thing before I get into the online program. You need a notebook. This was just from the dollar store. There's going to be a lot of notes on formulas and different things that they're going to take, and this is really valuable. My daughter references this all the time when she's doing her homework. All right, guys, here is Wisdom Wonder Project set up on my iPad. This is what we use for math videos. So I've already logged in because it had some personal information. So what I'm going to show you, as you come down here, you'll see it has levels kindergarten through 6th grade. Levels kindergarten through 5th grade is Primary Mathematics Standard Edition. For 6th grade, they've started using dimensions, and I emailed them and they told me it's because level 6 Standard Edition they believe is more of a review of the previous curriculum learned. So I don't actually know if we're going to be doing dimensions for level 6 or moving on to a different pre-algebra curriculum, but I'll keep you posted. So as you can see, level 4 is what we've been working on. We're just almost done, like a week or so away. Okay, so this is the teacher for level 4. She is great. As you can see in the back, there's animals and props that they use. Okay, so as you go down here, you'll see this collection overview. If you click on this, this is going to take you to their schedule, which I showed you. There's a little bit of information about the teacher, gives you an overview, some more information, how to find success and get started. And then it'll take you on to the materials that you need. Here is a list of all the materials that you need. So if you click on it, so let's click on this compass. It's going to take us to Amazon, and it's going to show exactly which compass set they want you to buy. It also shows you down here the books that they recommend specifically for both semesters. And if you click on the links, they'll take those to you as well. Also, as you go into the lesson, you can also, let's for example, click on this one, place value discs, and that'll take us to the Amazon page that has that item. Something I do want to caution you on is, like, for example, place value discs was one of them in the decimals. It took me a couple weeks to get them, so did a few of the other supplies. So what I generally do is I'll look ahead for the month and I'll see what new supplies I'll need. I didn't buy everything at once. I just bought them as we came to them, but I bought them 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time. So it broke it down and made it more manageable and affordable. So that's what I would recommend doing. A lot of it is things you have around the house, like here, mini pennies and a ruler. Okay, so here they have the video. Here's the pages for home instructor guide, textbook, workbook, and any materials you're gonna need. Now let's go back to the main page and let's go to printable templates. This is where I've got all of the templates that I showed you that I printed out. So you can just go ahead and print these out yourself. And if you need to reprint them, they're easily accessible. Okay, so then it goes on and it breaks it down into sections. So let's go on to the last section that we're almost done with. You'll see that all of the items that we've completed are checked off, and here are the remaining items that we need to finish. See, we're almost done. So here's a video. Let's check this video. This video is 11 minutes and 47 seconds. I would say on average they're 10 to 12 minutes. They say their average for this level is 15 to 20, but I found this to be a more average video, and it goes pretty quickly. So here you'll see they also tell you the pages you need in the books. In addition, if there were materials, there would be a link up top that would show you. Now, here this mark complete, once you have watched the video, this will turn green. Then you can click mark complete and it'll check it off for you and keep track of where you're going. Let me show you some lessons that we've completed already so that I can give you that example. Okay, see for this video, here we have the lesson, but then if you click up here, materials, this will tell you all the materials that you need for the lesson. If it doesn't have that top materials tab, then it doesn't need any materials for that lesson. And again, down here is the pages you need in the books. There is no mark complete because she's already completed it. Now, if you look here, this is an example of a lesson without a video. And those are generally your practice pages within your textbook and your review pages. After every section, you have review pages in your textbook and in your workbook that you need to do. So here, when you're done with that practice, you would just click mark complete. So as you can see, this keeps track of it for you. It'll also tell me that I am 53% complete, 7 of the 13 steps done with this section. But at the top of it, it will tell me that I'm 96 complete with the whole level. So I do really like that. So that is the website. It's very, very easy to use. You can also use multiple levels. I'm taking you to a page that's going to go over all the levels of video and the different teachers. So you'll see this teacher is for kindergarten and first, and then Emma's teacher, who's teaching her fourth, does second, third, and fourth grade. And then 5th and 6th grade are a different teacher. You can see in 6th grade, they say the average videos are 15 to 20 minutes, as well as 5th and 4th grade. They say that 3rd grade is 10 to 15 minute average, and that's second as well. And 1st grade is 10 to 12 minute average, and kindergarten is 7 to 15 minutes. I find they're generally right in the middle, and they go so quickly that you really don't notice them, and they're very, very helpful. If you just go to the main page, there's this watch sample math video that you can check out to see if it's something you like. And then as you go further down, it'll give you some more information. All right, so I'm going to walk through how I set up a lesson and how I execute everything. So first, I always go into the schedule. So let's use this for an example. Lesson 6, 4.1, round to the nearest whole number. I'm going to go to Home Instructor Guide, page 28. So here's page 28. I'm going to have this set up and put aside. I also see I need textbook page 28 to 30. All right, so here's page 28 and 29. So in the videos, she'll go through quite a bit of this and a lot of the tasks. So in the beginning, I would recommend having your child listen to the video with an earshot of you for multiple reasons. One being, if you don't know how to do the math this way, you're going to want to know how she's teaching it so you can properly help your child if they have questions. At the beginning of this level, there were quite a few things I learned that I had not been taught that way. So if I hadn't have listened to the videos and learned along with my daughter, I wouldn't have been able to help her later on. They were very easy to catch on to, very easy concepts, but I would definitely recommend listening and making sure you know how they are teaching, or else it's going to cause problems for you later on when you're trying to help them. I'll keep track and see what tasks she's used. She'll give several different extra tasks for practice afterwards if you need, listed in the schedule. You don't have to do them. Generally, if my daughter understands the concepts has been taught, after the video, we won't do anything in the textbook and we'll go straight into the workbook. However, if we do need to go through the textbook, this is what I recommend doing rather than paper and pen. I use a big whiteboard, and this has been a game changer. I got my daughter a whole bunch of just colorful dry erase markers, and we worked through all the problems here. It's just fun for her. It changes things up, and she's a lot more receptive. On top of that, if we're then working in the workbook, which for this example, we would be going to page 34 and 35. If she's still struggling after we've gone through the textbook problems, then we will continue to use the whiteboard for the workbook problems, and I will just have her write the answers down. Now, also on those days when she doesn't want to do math and she's struggling, but she understands the concept, then I will also bring out the whiteboard. and we'll work on the problems this way. Also, during the videos, I would always recommend having a whiteboard, eraser, and a dry erase marker because the children will often do activities along with the teacher on the video. So this is just something really easy and handy to have. And I think I paid maybe $11 for this on Amazon, so it was pretty cheap. Something else that I've done that has been really handy is I have my daughter check her own answers. So for example, here we have to go to Home Instructor Guide 28 for that lesson we've been using. And here you'll show on the Home Instructor Guide, this workbook page is exercise 14. The answers are on page 31, which I'll flip to in a minute. The answers for the textbook are always within the lesson right here. Okay, so on page 31, you'll find all of the answers for that lesson, and I'll have her go through the workbook and check her answers while I'm nearby, just to make sure nothing fishy happens. And I found that her correcting her own answers has made such a difference in her learning. Why did I make that mistake wrong? What could I have done? And all those aha moments I see. So I would definitely recommend doing that as well. So the reason why I don't necessarily use the extra practice book that you can get with this curriculum is because I find there's a lot within this curriculum. Not only do you have a lot of problems within the textbook and then the workbook, you often have, this is a practice page. So this is just practicing a concept that they had learned prior. Now, on top of that, at the end of every section, they have a review. See, here's another practice, and here's a review. They have a review within the textbook and the workbook. Now, the textbook, usually these review pages are 5 to 6 pages, and this one is 6 pages long. So I do break this up into several days. Now, you're probably asking, well, do I need to do the review in the textbook as well as in workbook? And the answer would be yes, because they are not the same problems. So this review, which we have not done yet, has 9 pages. However, generally they're also 5 to 6 pages. This is just the last review for the entire level 4. So the practice pages within the textbook are going over the section that you just learned. The review pages in the textbook and in the workbook are going over everything that you have learned so far in level 4. However, in the beginning of level 4, I also noticed that some of the review was from the previous section, level 3. So you are constantly getting a very, very thorough review of every topic that you have gone through in both the workbook and the textbook. There is no videos attached with those. So I generally break it up to either 2 pages a day, or we just take a whole week and we really delve and focus on this review. I feel like this review is very helpful. Every single time she does a review, she remembers concepts more and more and more, whereas the first few reviews, she had a really hard time because she couldn't remember things. So I definitely see the value in it. It definitely helps. So really quickly, here's the contents of all the sections that you're going to be doing for this 4B. So you're doing section 6 through 11. And in it, you'll see you're going to do lessons on decimals and then have a review. You're going to have all the lessons for the section, then a review. Lessons for the section, review. Lessons, review. Lessons, review. So you're getting a review quite often in each section. One thing I really like about the textbook, I just want to add, is I do like the color here. I do like how they have these examples on how to do things. It's very clear. I will often put the textbook next to my daughter when she's watching the video and say, look, these are the examples she's going to be going through. So if she needs more visual aid to help her learn, she can look at the textbook and see it in a different way than maybe the teacher's showing online. Last thing, I just want to show you some of the manipulatives that I used for this curriculum, level 4. I keep it in this large bucket. I just bought this cheap bag. This has all the geometry supplies that you need. The great thing is that you'll continue to use these supplies through most of the levels. I've got place value discs. I've got a bunch of different number blocks. Then you got some big kahunas, your math 10 blocks. So those are all the supplies that I got for this year. So it really wasn't that much, and being broken up really did help my bottom line. So I would definitely recommend taking the time, budgeting it out. If buying everything at once isn't in your budget. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching my video. I hope that was informative or helpful. And as always, if you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.